Okay. Good evening, everyone. And thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Zilumkile. Everyone calls me Z, so you can all call me Z. I'm one of the volunteers in Cape Town and also the regional chair in Cape Town. I'm in Cape Town, guys. It's cold, it's freezing. But we are here anyway, to interact and with the rest of our BAs in our South African BA community. So today we bring you a panel discussion, a very interesting discussion that will come from our panelists today. And it will cover the information and important information that is related to being a speaker in IIBA BA Summit. And I will explain more as I introduce it further, what the IIBA BA Summit is and what you can expect from that. So it will cover information about the BA Summit, about the topics and trending things that are coming from topics that are in our community this year, and some of the tips that can help you if you are interested or are aspiring to be a speaker as well in the BA Summit. Okay, so today's speaker panelists are Retta Delaporte, we have Carrington Mokwasi, and we have Byron Fontaine. So before we even get into the start with the discussion, we'll go through some housekeeping so that you are well prepared and you know what to expect today. Okay, so in today's session, we will go through the discussion with the panelists. And if you have any questions during this discussion, please do post them in the chat. Once the discussion has concluded, we'll then leave time where we will allow you to pose your questions to any or all of the panelists about any questions or any questions or things that you would like to ask them. It can be related to a question that was asked or posed during the discussion, or it can be related to anything that you are interested in or you would like to know from each of the panelists or all of them. Okay, we will go through the questions. The Q&A session will be at the end of the discussion. All right. If at some point we run out of time and you still have your question, we could not cover it, we will we will post the link to the LinkedIn pages for each of the panelists. You can reach out to them, connect with them if you want to know more about them. Connect with them and pose any questions that you have to them directly, or you can send them to our email address. I'll post the email address as well in our chat. Okay, the recording for today's session will be available in our YouTube page. I'll post the link to our YouTube page as well. And very important, this is IIBA. If you are interested in being a member, that is the link that you can follow in order for you to be a member in the of the IIBA. I will also go through some of the important things or benefits that you can rip off when you are a member of the IIBA. Okay, and also we do host TNTs or tools and techniques sessions and webinars, and we have different speakers that come and speak about different topics related to business analysis. And if you are one of those individuals and you feel like you have a topic that would be interesting to share with our BA community, please do reach out to us. You can reach out to us, to me, at that email, which is capetown@southafrica.iiba.org, or you can reach out to us at any of our social media platforms. Okay, and also to be on the lookout for our events. We always post our events at our social media platforms. Please be on the lookout and follow us. Follow us on LinkedIn, on Facebook. You also find us on Instagram. So I'll post our Instagram tags and pages as well on the chat. And if you want to connect with us, you can connect with me at that email, as I mentioned, capetown@southafrica.iiba.org. And if we had to look at some of the benefits of being an IIBA member, the greatest one is being a part of a greatest and global BA community, where you get to interact with BAs on a global scale, and you get to be part of member exclusive webinars where you learn information and get to be part of these webinars where speakers come and speak to us about information and topics that is relevant to our BA competency today. Okay, and you also get access to the PDFs, your articles, and in industry papers, reports, information that will be beneficial for you and will help you elevate your career in your BA career. And then you can also get that opportunity, as I mentioned, to interact with your local and your international BAs members in the different chapters, in our chapter events and our global events. And also get to meet and interact, getting access to those global communities within the BA community, also with our educators, our mentors, our coaches. If you're interested in being a mentor, being a mentee, being mentored by a BA, please do reach out to us, become a member of the IIBA, and you will get access to those things. And also, the greatest part of all is discounts. So you get plenty of discounts into getting and writing our exams that get you to have those IIBA certifications, which is your CBAP, your CCBA, your CBDAs. So getting that discount in order for you to get an accreditation that is internationally recognized in our IIBA community. Okay, so that discount does matter, and it's an accreditation that is international. So that discount is very important. So it's one of the greatest parts of being, or the greatest benefits of being an IIBA member. Okay, and you do get your discounts into conferences. And an example of those conferences is the BA Summit that is coming up in October, where all our panelists will be speakers in. Okay, so those are just some of the benefits that come with being a member of the IIBA. All right. Without any further ado, we will start. So today's topic, or the panel discussion, we called it the Pre-BA Summit. So it talks about what it means to be a speaker in the BA Summit, and our panelists today are all speakers. They will be presenting in the BA Summit. And if you are not aware, or if you don't know what the BA Summit is, so the BA Summit is a conference, a once a year conference that we have, where our BA community comes together and learns from one another, and we get speakers both from South Africa and internationally, from our international community that come and speak to us about relevant topics, trending topics, and important information, that we need to take into consideration in our BA competency. And now and also moving forward, the world is changing. Just the other day, we had to work from home. We had COVID, and we had to work from home. We had to work from home without any human interactions. And we had to change our ways of working. And then after that, things are starting to go back to normal. And now, coming out of that, and we are hit with ChatGPT and generative AI, and that also impacts our ways of working and things that we have to consider as business analysts. It impacts our future, it impacts how our skills and how we implement our work. There's plenty of things that we encounter and things that we will still encounter that will impact how our business analysis competency is shaped and moving forward. So to start, I will ask each one of our panelists to introduce themselves to you so that you know who they are. And from there, we will start with Retta, if you don't mind.
Hi, Z. Hi, Z. And everyone else here. I'm Retta Della Porta. I'm a business analyst at Momentum Metropolitan Holdings, or Momentum as most people know us. I've been in BA, gosh, it feels like forever, 10 to 15 years, somewhere in between there. Yeah, looking forward to this chat.
Thank you, Retta. If you can just give them a brief intro into what you'll be speaking about in this year's BA Summit.
Okay, so this year I will be speaking about the collaboration conundrum and how we can use that collaboration conundrum to step up as leaders in business analysis.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rita. Byron?
Yeah, good evening, everybody. My name is Byron Fortuin. I am a lecturer at FTI, and I'm lecturing in primarily business analysis. I love to do that. That is part-time though. And full-time, I'm an enterprise architect looking at fintech architecture across Africa and some other parts of the world as well for MTN and the mobile money business. And this year, with the summit, I will talk about leadership, and I will talk about leadership and collaboration, and that would sit under track 2. So if you want to know more about the intro, what I'm going to talk about, you can actually visit the basummit.co.za/2023, and then go read up on all our different topics that we're going to discuss there. There's 4 tracks, so it's going to be quite interesting. But my focus this year is speaking on leadership, and I will bring some personal experience, and I will talk about what I see in my industry and how collaboration takes you to the next level from that point of view. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Byron. Carrington?
Thank you, Z. My name is Carrington Pwas. Currently, I'm a business solutions specialist for ERG Africa. We are a mining company. I specialize in sourcing different solutions for the rest of Africa. In terms of my interest is in business analysis, project management, and enterprise architecture. And with regards to the topic that I will speak about this year, I will be talking about competing values in business analysis. So this is more about the values that compete in the projects that we undertake as business analysts, doing things that last versus doing things fast versus doing things first and doing them right. These values compete against limited resources such as funds, manpower, time, etc., etc. As a business analyst, how do you recognize these competing values? Once you have recognized them, how do you manage to achieve effective deployment of change within organizations? I'll be using a framework called the Competing Values Framework as lenses to navigate this maze. Yeah, so I think, that's about it in a nutshell.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Carrington, and also very informative. And thank you for that reminder, Byron, that if you are interested in knowing more about the different speakers and their topics, please do visit the BA Summit site. I will post that as well on the chat so that you may be able to access it. So the first question I will pose to Rita, I would like to know what does it mean for you being a speaker at the BA Summit? What does that mean for you?
Stress, a lot of stress. I think for me personally, it's a step to put my knowledge and to give back to the community what I've learned over the last couple of years. And then I think, it's just some, I think it's a goal of mine. Last year, I remember when I was at the summit and I was actually joining Byron's when he was speaking and a couple of other speakers. And I said, one day when I'm big, I'm also going to come and speak at the summit. And so when the call for papers came out, I was obviously having a great day that day. And I was like, yes, let's do this. And not really expecting this to happen. But here I am. And like I said, a lot of stress.
It's a fulfilling stress, I hope. Thank you for that, Rita. Byron, you were a speaker last year. So what inspired you to come back and speak again this year?
You know, good feedback received last year. And just to speak frankly, I love the vibe at the summit. So it is, yes, it's about speaking, but it's also about networking. You know, you stand in front of the room, you share your thoughts as a speaker, your experiences, and you don't know how your audience will receive it. So that's quite interesting. And once you leave your room, there is still a lot of engagement there. There's still like I said, networking, and this is a good place where I I met a lot of new colleagues. I met Carrington for the first time there, and we just clicked on day one because we are BAs, we think alike, we talk the same language, right? And he presents something, I present something, Rita presents something, we all just connect. And that is what it's about. It's about speaking, but it's more, you gain so much more after that as well, just by attending the session. So this year, when the call came out, I actually submitted a paper for 2 of the tracks. That is how desperate I was to be there. So I spent some time thinking about leadership and collaboration, and I also submitted something for track 3, business analysis mastery. And I knew, I just had faith that either one I'm comfortable with. So it's about building this network, growing the community. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, thank you so much, Byron. Carrington, coming to you. So Byron mentioned that his topic this year will be covering track 2. So I would like to know, what track will your topic be covering and why did you choose it?
Okay, thank you, Z. So I'll be covering track 4, maturing the practice. So I looked through all the tracks, and the way I choose my topics, maybe let me provide some context on how I choose my topics. So I look at a topic that will bring a valuable perspective to the audience. That's one thing that I look at. And I also look at what can I learn by presenting this topic to the people. So I looked through the tracks when the call for topics came. I identified the topic 4 as the one that is ideal to mature practice, business analysis as a practice. I'm passionate about deploying change. That's what I do every day when I look for solutions for the business. I looked at the nature of challenges that I face as I do my work. And then I looked at how can I solve these problems that I face. People out there, let me give them what I think, let me propose what I think as a solutions. This can be an opportunity for people who are in the same field to critique my thinking. They can tell, hey, look, Carrington, you're smoking something. This doesn't work. Or actually, it's a good idea. So it's also an opportunity to get feedback on my thoughts, to proffer solutions to challenges that business analysts are facing. Through that, the practice eventually matures. Over time, we are bringing in solutions into the practice. So that is how I chose my topic and the track.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Carrington. So I'm going to pose this to any
Sure.
one of the panelists. If you could just share with us what the process or the steps that are taken to becoming a speaker in the BA Summit for us as the audience. Anyone who wishes to answer this one?
Well, I did this for my second year for the BA. So BA Summit, so the process, you're asking the steps.
Yes, the steps.
Right. It's a lot of thinking, rethinking, and like Rita said, stress. It's not only about going there and standing in front of people. There is just one part of it, very important part, but is thinking like, what do I say? What track do I apply to speak at? It's like Carrington said, you look through the concepts or the ideas, You select one that speaks to you at that point in time, and you think about one that will bring value to you, as well as the audience, right? And also growing that knowledge. So for me personally, it took quite a few days to make up my mind. What am I going to say? Or putting up my synopsis. You see the information, the tracks. You don't make a decision up front. You'll read through the concepts, through what is being asked for, and you go through a process of elimination. And then you find yourselves thinking about what is your strength? What do you want to speak to about that's relevant now? And that is the steps that I applied. And for me, what stood out, I thought about sustainability mindset as well, and that's so valid. But I preferred and I decided to speak about leadership this year and collaboration, because that is how my journey propelled me into different roles where you have to make specific decisions that will add value. Mastery speaks about my career, being a BA for about 10 to 15 years, same as Rita. I did a lot of different things, but throughout that process, you start finding ways to do things better. You learn from others, you implement, you apply different techniques. And at some point, you realize that, you know what, wow, I actually am doing this without thinking twice. I mean, you would know exactly what approaches you do or take on any new project from that point of view. So my thinking is, my steps is read, because the call for papers is open to everybody. If you don't attempt, if you don't respond to that call of papers, to putting in your synopsis, you will never know. You will always wonder. So for next year's summer 2024, for those of you that's in the room, if you see the call come out, read through that and then submit, and then see what you get out from that point of view. Because it's all about you and what you know and what you want to contribute to the community. Yeah, I would say that.
Thank you, Byron. So if we were to look at the duration and the time that it takes for you to put together all this information, so we know by the time that the call for papers is posted, there's already a deadline that is set to that. So from your perspective, Rita, I'm going to pose this to you. How much time should a person come in already with a topic, or have already worked on it, or on their paper, or can they start looking at or considering it right at the time where the call for papers is posted? And what I'm basically trying to understand is how much time does a person need, especially a first-time speaker, need in order for them to prepare for their submission of the paper?
So I think it depends on what track you select to do. If it's something that you are passionate about, I don't think you need as much time to prepare. If it's something that you're quite knowledgeable about, if it's something that you are not that familiar with and you would like to stretch yourself, obviously you will need a lot more preparation. So I think in terms of time, I don't know, because I've spent quite a lot of time already. I had my initial synopsis and draft, and I've reworked it and I've reworked it and I refined it as time goes on. I'm still busy researching to make sure that the content that I put out there that day is of top-notch quality, that it would mean something to people. I go and sorry, I have so I go and I speak to other people about that as well, and I hear them, I use them as a soundboard to see how does that idea play off them, get their feedback. So by the time I do go into that summit, that I'm sure that I feel comfortable with the content, and that the message that I do convey to the people is also, it will land with them. Like Byron mentioned, you're not really sure how people will take your message that you give through to them. So it's also a chance that you take, but it's also an opportunity for learning. If you do put yourself out there, you need to be open for criticism, and you need to be able to take that criticism and learn from it again.
Thank you so much, Rita. Carrington, I know you are also, you participate in planning and also attending the Lean Coffees, and I know a lot of content and questions and trends do come out from that. My question to you is, do you see a link between the common trends in topics and in questions that come up in the Lean Coffees and the topics that are in this year's BA Summit?
Thank you, C, for the question. So my observation is, for the Lean Coffee, most of the questions that come in there, they more relate to the daily work experience, the challenges or the options or the paths one can take to navigate a particular challenge as they do their business analysis work. The BA Summit, the topics that are there, like Byron said, we've got 4 tracks. They are quite diverse. They also speak to the current trends that are happening. There's a bit of a difference because topics, they are broad. The questions that come in the Lean Coffee, they are a bit more specific. Whereas the tracks that we have at the BA Summit, they are diverse, and then people propose what they want to talk about. Some people want to talk about affirm their authority in the field, areas that they know well, and they feel they can add value to other business to other business analysts, which is kind of a different setup. That's my view.
Thank you very much for that, Carrington. So before we continue, I would like to emphasize that if you guys have any questions, please do post them in the chat and mention that we will leave time for a Q&A session at the end of this discussion, where you'll be able and will be given an opportunity to pose your questions to our panelists. So now, going into the tagline that we're using for this year's BA Summit, which is Elevate, Empower, Excel, Inspiring the Future of Business Analysis. So I'm going to go straight into the future of business analysis. My first question is, how would you describe the future of business analysis from your perspective and your view? I'm going to go to you, Byron.
That is such a great question, eh? The future is exciting. We don't know what it holds, and it comes one day at a time, right? So now, sometime last year, when the global state of business analysis report were released. Now, I'm just going to draw some inspiration from that report. It speaks, what stood out for me was the different roles that is coming up in the industry. It basically speaks to a business analyst that can literally transform the entire career path to so many different fields. As a personal example, I was a junior BA and I was a generalist BA. At some point, I decided I want to be specializing in something. And I chose a specific career path and I specialized in that. That propelled me to something else. So the core that I learned from business analysis opened a pathway to many things. So when I think about the future, when you think about where I see a lack personally from business analysis and my exposure is in data scientists. We need more BAs there. You see emerging technologies that's not so new, but it's out there. You all know about this. You hear about the cloud, you hear about ChatGPT, you hear about machine learning, artificial intelligence. You hear about cybersecurity. These are things that are very close to me, and I'm passionate about those things. And that is where I see we will make a difference, because all of these things that the technology companies like Facebook, Microsoft, or Amazon, or Google come out, we need to be on the forefront about it. We need to know about these things. Why? Because any solution that we will recommend will either touch on any of these, whether it's data, whether it's designing apps or improving apps. I mean, think about, when was the last time you were in a bank, right? To enable a use case like You're transacting with your mobile banking app. Think about the work the BAs put in there and the future state where they need to find themselves. Because like I said, the future come one day at a time, but we can only anticipate by looking at the trends in what's happening in the world today for you to become relevant. Now back to the report. The future is that I see ourselves leading anywhere, in any organization, any industry, provided you are open-minded, you get the skills you require, and very important, you apply that skills in what you're doing day to day. And that is where you can literally go anywhere, do anything, specialize, be a generic BA. For me, it's open-ended, it's endless from that point of view. I'm not sure if I answer your question, Z, but
You did.
I'm excited about the future when it comes to business analysis. Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Byron. You did answer my question. My next question is now looking at this future of our business analysis and the future business analyst. And my question goes to Carrington. What would you identify as some of the skills that you feel are important for this for us as BAs to equip ourselves with for this future that we are looking at?
Thank you, Z. So the the future for business analysts is it's quite interesting. The reason why I say so is the advent of AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. It's bringing in a new perspective into the business analysis space, precisely because some of the things that we used to do are being automated. Some of the things that we used to do tend to fall away as we progress. Of course, there are some things that will continue to require human interaction, but those activities or tasks are shrinking because most of the things can be automated. Machines can learn, they can be programmed. So those things where the input can be accurately or easily programmed, it can be done. And that means your responsibility as a business analyst has to change. What then needs to happen is one has to upskill or reskill. What do you need to know? You need to know the new tools that are coming. Whether in whichever space you are, you need to learn the tools that are coming in, the new, let's say, for instance, the advent of AI, artificial intelligence impacts data, massive elements of data. You are going to be involved in data. So you need to know data analytics. What are the tools that we use in data analytics? For instance, currently we use Power BI, Tableau, and many others. But the point is, know the tools, data analytics tools, know data, know basic skills to write queries, to manipulate massive amounts of data. Know languages like Python so that you make yourself relevant in the space. Gone are the days when business analysts used to be document writers. That time is fast moving, going away. So if you ask me right now, I tell you that it's the time to start learning bit by bit. Those small, those technical skills, how to use reporting tools, how to write queries, how to, the basics of programming. Because with the advent again of object-oriented programming, one of the days when you need to write the actual code, go and do all the declaration of variable, you drag objects and put, and you do some configurations. So if you ask me, that is my view, and that is what I think one needs to do. Of course, the space is quite broad. We can't get into the specifics of each tool that one has to do or to learn. The point is upskill, reskill, leverage on AI and machine learning, the different tools that are GBchat that are coming in, learn them, know how to use them. That's my view. I'm not sure if I fully answered your question.
You answered my question. So one thing that you mentioned there is to upskill, especially in those bringing in, you know, things that can be associated with your technical skills, your SQL, I think is what you were referring to, your data analysis, and so those are that's what you mentioned, and is some of the things that you some of the skills that you would recommend that we learn. But also in essence, what Carrington is mentioning is that we need to continuously learn. That continuous upskilling is very essential. Retta, coming to you. So now we know we have ChatGPT, life is changing, and how do you foresee this impacting our day-to-day lives? How do you foresee ChatGPT, and also how can we leverage it as business analysts to ensure that we we're doing better in our daily tasks?
So I think most of us should already have explored with ChatGPT or one of the tools driven by ChatGPT. As a business analyst, I think you, like Byron mentioned, you need to stay ahead of the technology. You need to, as soon as it comes out, you need to know how it works, at least the basics, right? So I think as a business analyst, and I'm also using these tools, and I think I mentioned it on Wednesday in the Lean Coffee, is that it's a co-pilot. It's not there to take over your job, but it's there to make your job a lot easier. You can, unfortunately, I think that the technology itself is just still too young, too immature to fully rely on it to just do and not check it. There's still that you can use it as a co-pilot, but there is still, you have to check the facts and make sure that whatever it gives you is reliable information. So some ways that I have used it personally, I have a tool that helps me with copywriting. So I use that when I do draft requirements or anything like that, a quick letter, a quick email. So while that is busy drafting my email, I can continue with other tasks. So in that way, it has helped me to be more productive. Another tool that I like is the mind map one, where you also, by giving it a prompt, it will create a mind map for you. So there's no reason for you to go into a meeting with nothing. Say, I don't know, because it literally takes a couple of minutes for you to ask, give me some information on this topic, so that you don't go there empty-handed. Whether it's using a mind map to break down the key ideas for you, whether it's a ChatGPT to just give you some background on a technology or on a concept or anything like that, I think we can really, really use it to be more productive in our day-to-day activities. And sometimes it even covers a blind spot. If you know you have a blind spot for something, you know, use that to your advantage to cover those blind spots that, you know, you're not very good with a specific skill, whatever it is. Use that then as a co-pilot for you to be more productive and pick up those little pieces that you usually drop.
All right. Thank you very much, Retta. Byron, back to you. So now we see that the use of AI is going to assist us in ensuring that we like, as Retta mentioned, we produce better quality work, and we do things quicker and faster while we're able to focus on other things. And in your perspective, what do you see as some of the responsibilities that we as business analysts will start picking up now that more and more documentation related things and other smaller tasks will be we can be assisted using AI?
Look, I'm a great motivator for technology and tools. So we should not be scared of these things. We should embrace them. Like Rita mentioned, you can use it literally to ask anything. I can go to ChatGPT now. I can tell it to write me code for app. It will do that. But as a BA, I know that I should not use other people's work. I should validate. I should check back. I should look at that feedback. Even though you get information from a machine that is still querying multitude of data sources out there, it's just nothing but a tool. I mean, let me just plant the seed here. Many years, calculator in its basic form, it's AI, it's programmed. So these things has been with us all along. It's just evolving at a rapid space, at a rapid period of time. And now we're living in this digital era where everything is literally at our fingertips. So tools like ChatGPT, Google, various search engines, all of these things work together and it becomes tools for us, right? It enables us to do better, to be more productive. I think for me personally is how do I use it to best suit my needs as a BA? That is where I need to make the differentiator. How does this tools benefit me? And if it means go and upskill, reskill, unlearn, relearn certain things, I have to do that because we talk about your productivity. And like Rita said, whether you're consulting, whether you're working for a specific company, there's no reason for you not to go in a meeting not knowing anything. You have to do the research, the background, and leverage these things, right? We can use it for good and for bad, but the fact remains AI and these types of things will always be there. So be a smart BA and use it to your advantage to excel what you're doing. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Byron. Carrington, coming to you, I think we are about to wrap up. What I would like you to do is to speak to an aspiring business analyst and give them motivation as to what they can expect and what can they expect when they get into this role of a business analyst, especially in this day and age. I mean, we know when we speak about business analysis, we speak about it as though the assumption, under the assumption that the person that we're speaking to already knows what it is that we do. But if you're looking at someone that is looking at a graduate out there that is looking to being a business analyst, what would you say to them and what advice would you give to them?
Yeah, thanks, Z. So for the new entrants into the business analysis space, one of the things that I would say the most important thing before you embark on the business analysis career is to make sure that you have passion. Because without passion, the business analysis can be frustrating because it's different from working on a machine from 8 to 5. There are no much disturbances or frustrations. When you're a business analyst, you work with people. People are unpredictable and they are different again. From every day, you meet a new set of challenges. So what you face, the challenge that you face today is not the same tomorrow, it's not the same next week because you are dealing with humans. Humans are unpredictable. They act in all sorts of various ways that one can think of. So you need to have passion. Without passion, then it will be difficult to travel the terrain. So that's one important thing. You need to be passionate. You need to be willing to learn because constantly you need to be learning. Again, you need to know that the environments that one is going to be in are all different. So my experience as a business analyst is totally different from Rida's experience or Byron's experience as a business analyst. So even if you speak to various business analysts who are in the industry, know that the environments that you are going to go in are totally different. The third thing that one has to do is to embark on a journey for certification. So you need to subscribe to one of the business analysis bodies, for instance, the IIBA. Once you join the IIBA, they will walk with you through the journey. They will handhold you. There are sessions that people go through in terms of preparing their certifications. You go through different platforms like this one. We have Lean Coffee also, the one that I participate in. Every day you have someone to talk to. Every day you have someone to share with you their experiences. You have people to help you. You go to conferences, you connect with people who are in the field, who have got experience, who have walked through the journey that you are walking through right now. So that's the advice that I can give to those who want to embark on the business analysis. But one important thing, it's quite interesting. It's very interesting and quite dynamic. The sky is the limit. You can do whatever you want on a daily basis. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carrington. And important aspects that you mentioned there, especially about being part of a community like the IIBA, where you can leverage from your peers, from people that have already been in the industry, where you can learn from them, and also impart knowledge that you have, share the knowledge that you have with those people, and build this community and help build and formulate our business analysis competency and from now on and moving forward. All right, so now we're going to go to questions, and I'm going to go through the questions that are in the chat first. And if you have any other questions, please do raise your hand and I will allow you to speak. The first question comes from Andrew. And Andrew asks, he says, apologies for being late. What is the view of business analysis in the trends of AI in the business environment? So any of our panelists can answer.
It's an interesting one. And, sorry, just to jump in like this, but very interesting one. And just by looking at that, we touched on that slightly in our discussions. Now, he's asking for a view of the business analysis trends in AI, right, in a business environment. Now, it's a very broad question because within AI, there are so many different disciplines. Somebody is touching on governance, AI governance and training. That's in Bali, right? Also mentioned is not well established, but there's also within AI, there is also a lot of things to do with ethics and bias. So depending on your interest or your industry, AI means something different, right? You can use AI to run a specific algorithm to give you a decision, to query some tool. So again, you have to appreciate the context where you are in that business environment and for what solutions we will use AI or machine learning in that context. Then you will see what value it comes out. But when you use the word trends and AI, you see a lot of different things coming through, right? From that concept. So it's always relevant to what is happening in the industry now. What is the next big thing, right? When you go back to November, December last year, ChatGPT was the next big thing. Last year, or not last year, a few months ago, I read about the new quantum computer that Google is launching. What about the AI in that? You see Elon Musk change his business to X. Why is he doing this? What is his end game? And what would AI mean in that business environment? Different questions, different concepts. So you have to look at it where you are in that particular context. That's my view of that. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Byron, for answering that question. Andrew, I've allowed you to speak. I'm not sure if you have any follow-up questions to that, or are you happy with the answer that you received?
I'm quite happy with the answer. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Byron touched on that, and also the question that Bali covered, that Wally posted about governance and training. So Bali, I'm not sure if you have any follow-up questions to your question. Let me see if Bali's here. Hi, Bali. I think she's a bit quiet. So I'll go back to a second question from Andrew. And he says, how do we transform requirement specifications writers' mindset to AI? How will be the AI curriculum look like to reskill the BA specialists? So business analysis requirements, specifications, AI. How do you feel about that, panelists?
Hi Z, let me attempt on that one. So I think the first part of that question is about transforming the mindset. So currently there's a way as business analysts we practice writing functional specifications, for instance. And he's saying with the advent of AI, right, how do we leverage AI and how do we change our mindset to be able now to leave the traditional way of doing things and start using AI in writing the specifications. That's how I'm interpreting the first part of this question. Here's my view. As business analysts, like the only constant thing that is in our space is change. Otherwise, if we don't change in any way, we remain stagnant and we become useless. So so what happens? So what you need to do is you need to have appetite for learning as an individual. Again, that's one thing. The second thing that you need to do is identify the AI tool that you can use. Identify the advantages that you get from them. If it's going to make your work easy, then eventually you are going to realize that the work that you were doing for an hour, it's going to take you 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Then obviously, with the amount of pressure that you go through as a business analyst, you start using it because it's adding value to your work. The third thing that I want to say is try things. If you don't try things, then you're not gonna know the benefits that those tools, those AI tools offer. So once you start trying them, eventually you get used to them. And your mindset will be configured that there's this tool that gives me this benefit. I don't see this different from any other tool that we use. It can be a collaborative tool. It can be a project management tool that we use as a business analyst. How we transform from using an Excel spreadsheet to Microsoft project management is the same. It's the same thing. See the benefit, start using it, get used to it, you become effective and you become a master to that. That's my view on that. The second part of the question is about how will be the AI curriculum look like to reskill the BA specialists. Okay, so my view is if you're a BA specialist, you specialize on something, then I think you then need to master AI languages like machine learning languages, for instance, like I mentioned, Python, and then once that is good, those languages are what are going to define you as a BA specialist because you would have mastered them. So in terms of giving a situation, you know how to program the inputs in the input and how you can make the learning process work. I think that's my view on that one. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carrington, for that response. And I think what all of our panelists are saying is you need to interact with those AI platforms and applications, interact with them, learn from them, and leverage in any kind of information and work you can get from that. Whatever you can leverage from it, take it, use it into our everyday lives. So I'm gonna take Sibusiso's question, and I think it's one question that gets asked. It's so trendy because every aspiring BA asks this, and I know we covered it, Carrington, earlier on when we asked, what would you say and how would you advise an aspiring business analyst? So now this one comes to getting your first job. How do you get your first job? So that is what Sibusiso wants to know. So what advice would you give to a person that is aspiring to be a BA, and how would you advise them when they need to equip themselves with in order for them to get their first job? Any of the panelists can answer this.
I'll take that one. So in order to move into the business analysis space, something that is really helpful is your transferable skills. Look at what BA skills you are currently applying in your job and see how you can transfer them into a BA role, and play on that when you are applying for BA roles. Make sure that the interviewee knows that you have these skills and how you apply them, because that's what they want to see at the end of the day, is that you are able to apply the skills. It doesn't help you want to become a BA, but you don't know how to apply the skills. They're not necessarily always looking for someone with experience as a business analyst. They're looking to see how you can apply and that you have the right thinking. I think there's you need to be inquisitive. You need to want to understand the problem and understand why that's a problem and understand the problem behind that problem, get to the root cause of it. And if you don't have that, if you don't have that inquisitive mind, it's really difficult. So when you do interviews for a BA role, focus on those 2 points. I think that is the best advice I can give from my point.
Thank you very much, Rita, for that. And it's actually quite valid, because a lot of people are under the assumption that when you're a business analyst, you have to have that title of a business analyst for you to get the job as a business analyst. But it's actually doing the tasks that are around business analysis and applying those skills and all those learnings. And if you have that, and if you are applying that, and if you're able to apply that, especially in interviews, then you will be able to get your first job. And good luck to all our aspiring BAs. We see you in our BA communities. Link up to us. If we are able to help you, we can. There's a lot of learning that you can find and you can get in our BA community, especially in our IIBA South Africa. We are wrapping up. It has been such an eventful and teaching evening. We have learned so much from our panelists. Please do link up with them on our platforms on LinkedIn. Today we're having Rita de la Porte. We have Carrington Mokwasi, and we have Byron Fontaine. They have shared with us some information, or just introducing us into what we can expect at this year's BA Summit. Please do go to our BA Summit website and find out more about what their topics are and what they will be speaking about. And these are not even the only speakers that will be there. There are so many other speakers that will be coming at this year's BA Summit. Learn from them, reach out to them as much as you can, and also be on the lookout for next week's event, which will be posted in our LinkedIn, our Instagram, and also our Facebook pages. We bring you all these events so that we can share with you as our community. But tonight we are wrapping up. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you very much to our panelists for giving us this opportunity and coming and sharing with us, and and inspiring us. I am also inspired to be a speaker. I hope that you are also all inspired to be speakers. Looking forward to seeing your papers, seeing you submit your papers, and you becoming speakers in the BA Summit next year. Thank you very much, everyone. Again, my name is Zilumkile. I am Z, signing off all the way from Cape Town. I hope you keep warm and enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.
Bye.
Good night. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.